Uh,
Oh, that's funny.
can't write that. That's good stuff. Welcome to Lisa's Changing Perceptions. Lisa is the creator of Changing Perceptions. Through life experience, she has discovered that we all suffer internal wounds that guide us. We live in a society that puts a label and expectation on everything and everyone. So many are in a constant battle with themselves, never winning the war or ever feeling good enough. Lisa's Changing Perceptions is a show that offers tools and guidance that will assist you in discovering you and unlocking the chains of pain that bind you. You can reach Lisa at www.lisaschangingperceptions.com. Send her an email at lisaschangingperceptions@gmail.com or just give her a call, 262 573 7055. Of course, Lisa's Changing Perceptions is brought to you through the support of Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. Today, your feelings are the answer. Good morning.
Good morning, Kent. How are you?
I'm good. I got through that without stumbling. It was wonderful.
Well, it's that hour thing we were talking about. It
I think so.
must have reset your brain a little bit. I thank Kent for reminding me that the hour time, because this morning I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. What is wrong with me? And then Kent reminded me of the hour time change because we've gone so digital that
Just here in America. It's the only time. They don't do it in Singapore, China, anywhere other than America. Do they do it in Canada?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I forgot all about it. Now that we're so digitalized, you know what you did? It used to be that you had to
Right.
get up and change your alarm clock and change your car radio. You don't even have to do that
Yeah.
anymore. And, change the stove and change, and
Mhm.
now it's just like, wait a minute, everything's digital.
Yeah.
Everything just does it
So
for
we
you.
are time travelers. Somewhere in our sleep, we traveled an
We
hour
travel
ahead.
and we lost ourselves some sleep. There's got to be a lesson learned in
Right.
there.
Good
Somewhere.
morning, Ted. Thanks for sharing it out, buddy.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you feel refreshed, even though you lost your hour's sleep. I hope that works out. So today we're gonna get into this, and it's funny because I it, there's a part I've debated all morning because I don't decide until the last minute. I base it on my week, and I debated all morning doing this topic, and then I decided to do it because part of it's going to be kind of controversial, I suppose, because people want to hear all happy things. And my view is that sometimes the unhappy things are the happy things. So we're going to kind of go back and forth about that today. So I decided to do your feelings are the answer because of experiences in my office, experiences in my life, things that I'm watching around in the world. Um, and everybody wondering what's the answer?
Mm.
We're not going to find the answer for the whole world. My struggle is I'm watching people struggle with finding the answer for themselves. The world, you don't need the world's answers. You need the answer for you as how you live your
Yeah.
life in a world.
Yeah.
That's it.
But boy, we sure search for it
We
for
do. We do. And that's part of it. And that's why Friday when I came in, I had mentioned to you off camera, I think, that part of my topic today, I was one of the topics I was debating today was when did approval be defined again as acceptance?
right.
Because they're not the same
Not
thing.
the same.
And I'm seeing a lot of people searching for approval um, and not realizing that that is so different than acceptance. When we accept something or someone, we accept all of them.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that we approve of everything that they do, think, feel, or say. but we make the choice to accept someone for who they are. And in that, in a good relationship or whatever, whether it be romantic or friendship or coworker or whatever, we can have conversations about that.
Yeah.
But when we're constantly changing in order to seek approval because then we'll be accepted, it's a never-ending battle. It's the hamster wheel. Because as we're learning, especially in these last couple of years, that society changes the perspective of what's acceptable
Yeah. Oh boy.
every 10 seconds.
Yeah, and how.
And it's causing so much confusion and conflict and um you know changing points of view. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ever change our mind. Of course, we all learn and grow. That's growth.
Yeah.
And that was part of the thing that came up Friday, is that we've become a society that when you change your mind, you must have been a liar or a hypocrite. Or you had some self-thought and you reflected on it and you changed it. But did you really change it because you changed your perception
Right.
of how you saw it? Or did you change it because there weren't enough people that gave you a thumbs up on your Facebook post?
Right.
Or you had enough YouTube viewers? Why did you change it? That's the true key. Did you find something within yourself that you went, hey, you know what? Yeah, how I was looking at that's a little ass backwards. Now, here's the key. People then feel bad or guilty or shame. Well, you know what? The truth is it might not have been ass backwards for you a week ago or a month
Right.
ago. A situation presented itself, which offered you the opportunity
Well,
to
yeah.
look at it again. And if that genuinely changed your perception of it, change your damn mind. I
But
mean,
yeah, we see
that's
it.
life, that's growth, that's maturity.
We see it all the time in the news, right?
Mhm.
Um, oh, back in 1963, you said this.
Right.
What?
I sure the hell hope I'm not the same person I was back then,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, and here's the thing, own it. And I see it, and I see it in the office a lot too, and with people that I converse with or when I do groups and what have you. The shame and the guilt behind our decisions of the past. Here's the reality. You can only do one thing about the decisions of your past that you carry shame or guilt for. Really break it down and go, why did I do that? What looked right to me in that? What view have I changed that makes me realize that I have guilt and
Mhm.
shame? Guilt and shame are emotions. That's why I did this. Your feelings are the answer. Guilt and shame are emotions. And Kent and I were talking about this before the show. Someone can't make you feel guilty if there's not a little part of you that believes what they said.
Right.
They can't. It's not possible.
Right.
You can't feel guilty if you don't. So when we're looking at, we'll start with guilt and shame. When we're looking at guilt and shame, that's an internal feeling or an internal view of action that we did, an action that we took. If it's if somebody's saying something to guilt us or shame us for an action we didn't take, it won't affect you.
Right.
But if somebody's saying something and you're feeling guilt or shame towards an action you did take, you can't change the action, but you can change your view of what caused that feeling and move forward differently.
Okay, but hold on.
Okay.
Let's stop the bus right there.
There we go. Should I go under it or are we good?
No. Is we're all programmed, right?
That's a perfect word.
Many people are programmed brought up in some sort of Christian upbringing, right? So I'll use the Catholic Church, and I love all my Catholic friends. I'm just saying that they have been programmed that I should be guilty of everything because that's what they preach from the pulpit, right? So they try to use shame and guilt. So in your upbringing, a lot of times, or in your programming, oh my gosh, there's a beautiful woman that just walked by, and I go, oh man, she's gorgeous. My wife's right next to my side, and I should go, oh my gosh, I shouldn't think that way because my wife is here. So
the thought's a natural thought process. It's not our thought that causes the problem. It's our reaction to the thought. Now, if you say that and then you get up and walk away from your wife and go hit on her, well, that's a part of your character. But the thought or the emotion or the feeling that came up was a natural God or spirit or the
Right.
universe or your hormones or whatever it is you want to call this thing that we're here for, um, has a natural draw towards other human beings, towards
Right.
compassion, towards affection,
But a lot
towards,
of our programming is to be guilty. To, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? It's not that necessarily it goes against what we're thinking, and I shouldn't have that. You
but
know?
that's kind of what we're talking about today, is
Yeah.
that then at that point you're handing over your truth to someone else.
Okay.
You're giving someone else permission to
Interesting.
determine
Yeah.
for you what right and wrong is. Now, should we have rules and laws and things like that? We need
Absolutely.
those to guide
Yeah.
us in a civilized society. But the truth is how do you genuinely feel about it? Your feelings are the answer. Do you feel guilty about that? Is that really wrong? Or is it your actions? That could be different for each individual
Yeah.
person, but that's still a choice.
Hmm.
I talk to people. I asked somebody the other day, how's your anxiety been? Like what's everything going on? Anxiety is the
Yeah.
big one. I don't have any anxiety. I'm angry. I said, amazing. I'm so proud of you. You're proud of me for being angry? Yeah. If you're past anxiety, it's
Yeah.
growth. Anger means I've made a decision about what's bothering me. Anxiety is I'm panicked about I don't know.
Hmm.
Anxiety causes the future. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what's bothering me. I don't know what's going to happen in my future. I feel insecure. I feel uncomfortable. Anger is the next step to growth.
Yeah.
Now I've determined what's causing this conflict in me and I'm mad about it. Amazing. Beautiful. Growth. Well, I don't want to be angry. Perfect. Next step. What can I do about it? Let's break the anger down. Let's break the anger down. Anger is telling you something's not right in your soul, in your spirit, in your core. Something's wrong.
Mm.
We have two choices when we feel anger, and you always have a choice. I love when people say, I don't have a choice. You always have a choice. There's always a choice. I don't want to feel angry. Perfect. Anger is telling you something's wrong, and it's giving you the opportunity to make a choice. We can choose to be angry. I've chosen it sometimes. Nope, I want to be pissed off right now. Okay. I want to feel pissed off until the pissed off's not comfortable anymore, and then I'm going to fix it. There's nothing wrong with the fact that I choose to remain in anger for a certain period of time to allow it to come up, to allow it to focus.
Yeah.
My actions within that are who create who I am. I can feel anger and harm no one. Just fact.
That's right.
I can be angry and harm no one. Once that anger gets to the point that it's bubbled up enough of the goos come up, and you can go, you know what? I don't want to feel this anymore. And I see this, and this has made me angry. Good. That's where your choices start. Do you want to change something about it? Can you change something about it? What can you change? There are situations that are temporarily uncomfortable. If you genuinely, in this moment, can't see a way to change it for the moment, cool. Make the choice to accept it for the moment.
Yeah.
You know what happens once you take the choice to accept it for the moment? You're not angry. You made a choice. You empowered yourself with the choice.
Mm.
You could choose to be the victim. Great.
You still made a choice.
Absolutely. And sometimes I know when people are confused, I've had people come into the office, they're like, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what decision to make. There's a couple of them and I've sorted them out and some are good and some are bad, but there's more than one good one and I don't know what to do. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's make a decision not to make that decision today. Cool.
Feel good about it.
Right. Because guess what? It'll still be there tomorrow.
That's right.
And if there's a timeline on it where you're having to make it out of complete discontent and discomfort, not just a fear, and we'll talk about fear in a minute, but out of a complete, if there is a timeline that forces you to make that decision when you truly don't know that it's the best one for you, then you just answered your question.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not the best one for you.
Probably.
If it's that much of a deadline that literally it's wiped off the planet by taking 24 hours to think about it. Now, there are people who will manipulate us into believing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then again, we're handing our power over. If somebody's going to challenge us, threaten us, give us an ultimatum, we still have a choice.
So I was in a situation
Okay.
On Friday, for Thursday, and at work, and I am in this meeting, right, and trying to practice mindfulness. So instead of allowing my anger to boil over, um, the people that I'm with think that I'm taking copious notes. All the while, I'm like, bite your tongue. Is this the right time to get in a piss pitching match? I'm writing to myself because I know how I normally react in these situations. Does that help? Does just sitting down and trying to
If you
jot
truly
something like
don't
that?
know whether your reaction is going to be something that you're proud of later, then sure, why not?
Yeah.
Because there's the people in that meeting, I'm assuming they're people you'll see again, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. So if you truly don't believe that your reaction or your choice, it's a response. What's the choice? It's a
Right.
response. Okay. If you truly don't believe this is the best moment for this, or you feel you're going to react out of an anger emotion, which stubborn German girl here happens sometimes. Okay. Um, then yeah, that there's nothing wrong with that, because here's what I could do is, once you've sorted that out, once you've really looked at what's bothering me about this, um, if it's something that's of an integrity choice, or whatever it was that was bothering you and creating that anger, if it's something that you go, you know what, this really is wrong,
Yeah.
I really feel this is wrong, you can always go back to those people later and go, you know what, in that meeting I was really struggling, and I really didn't want to react to it because it was really bothering me, and I've really looked at it and I was really struggling, and this is what I was struggling with, and I'd like to let you know that this really bothered me, um, and give them an opportunity for feedback. Be prepared for feedback,
Yeah.
okay? But you're presenting it now in a way that it can be heard. Because if you had blown up in that meeting, I can almost guarantee you what the end result would be. You'd be a psychopath, and in the eyes, and nobody
Yeah.
would have heard you.
Yeah. Yeah. Would have
And even if you had really good points, nobody would have heard them.
been. Mm-hmm.
They would have been focused on your reaction to it. So
Yeah.
no, I think that's always a choice. Fight or flight is one thing. If you're in a situation where you have to make a choice to flip out and react to save yourself, that's fight or flight. That's different. But in those kinds of situations, yeah, that's a situation of what's bothering me about this. Because is it a trigger? Because sometimes our triggers, as we talked about last week, the rest of the world doesn't have to give a shit
Right.
about our
Right.
triggers. And sometimes it's a genuine, you know what, the core of me says this is wrong. This is wrong. And I'll feel worse about myself if I don't stand up for what I believe in. I'm going to go present my case.
Yep.
Presenting your case is something different. So no, I don't think that's wrong, but I've seen a lot of people struggling with the fact that we're handing over those types of things because we don't look at how we feel about something. We don't look at what our real view is. We don't forgive ourselves. We don't look at our actions. We don't do these things, and therefore we're very, 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 very influenced on what our current view of something is based on what the media told us, or what that significant other told us, or what the and we can get influenced by people. That's not wrong, but there's a difference between being influenced to change your decision or to look at something differently than it is to get led around by your nose your whole life.
And I love what Ted says here. Break it down, learn from it, let it go. Realize we're all human, make mistakes. Change the action in your present and future.
Correct. And if you genuinely did something that, as you look back on it, you brought harm to another person, and an apology would help, apologize, own it. And if it's not something that you can fix in that fashion, fix it with yourself. Um, Fix it with God, fix it with whatever it is,
Sure.
And I love it because I've had people say, well, because my faith is what pulls me through. And, well, but what if I don't believe in God? Okay. What if I don't believe in anything? Okay. Well, the sad part is within that, you're also saying you don't believe in yourself. So if you can't believe in anything or anybody else, if the whole world is crazy, because you hear that statement a lot now, everybody in the whole world is crazy, perfect, and you're not. So believe in yourself. How do you feel? What do you see? On the other hand, happiness. Happiness is a feeling, it's an emotion, right? That's our spirit, our core saying, ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
Let's find more of that. Let's go find more of that. Anger is saying, oh, something about this, I don't like it. It needs to change. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. What can I do about it? Sadly, we're also living in times of instant gratification. So people think that that means, wait, I'm going to say this cliche term and then it's all going to be better. No, it's probably not all going to be better. And like when you said programming, and that's kind of what I work with is the reality is, and I prove it over and over again. And I know that people tell me, and no, that's not the truth. And then when we start digging, I will tell you 99.9% of the time it is the truth.
Sure.
The majority of the things that are triggering you, the majority of the thoughts that you're struggling with, and the majority of the good as well, okay, you made the decision about before you were 9 years old.
Hmm.
Over and over again, I see it. And people all, no, that's not true. It happened when so and so did this. Okay, cool. That's when you recognized it. Now, what allowed that situation, what allowed you to react that way, what allowed you to believe that that was okay, where did that go? Let's go there. Because when we go there, then oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when this happened or that happened. And that's what I find fascinating with what I do. And the thing, why do people resist it? Because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. That's why we did, like we were just talking before, I'm going to do some more of them. The downloads, they're not meant to fix your problem. They're meant to help you find yourself peacefully, more comfortably in moments of little epiphanies. Like success doesn't happen in an instant. What you built it up to might occur in an instant.
Yeah.
But success doesn't happen in an instant. And then I love that too. Well, what's success? Well, I don't know. What's your success? Compared to who? Well, if I don't have this much, then if I'm not like this person. So, okay, you've granted this person the God end of what success is.
Right.
And unless you reach exactly what they determined for themselves was success, then you are unsuccessful. How is that? I don't personally resonate with that. I had somebody come into my office recently and go, oh my God, am I crazy? They were literally like just spun.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I just said, I don't know. Are you? Well, I want you to tell me if I'm crazy. We might have different opinions of that. Define crazy. Right. Tell me about your crazy. What's crazy? Well, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Oh, tell me what that feels like. Tell me what your mind is saying. Tell me what that feels like. You could sit 100 people in front of somebody and you're going to cause one person to be powerful enough to determine you're crazy. Maybe you are in the moment. I've been crazy in the moment. I have my mental meltdowns, is what I call them. But evaluate it. What's that feeling like? Where's that coming from? What's so uncomfortable? Because you can't get rid of it if you can't identify it. Why are you laughing?
Well, I remember that joke of the guy wearing cellophane pants walks into your office and says, am I crazy? And you say no, but I can clearly see your nuts.
Leave it to Ken.
I'm sorry about that. That's what I was laughing about.
Leave it to Ken.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm finding that the struggle is we don't self-view. We don't know who we are. And literally with aspects of the world right now, people are changing who they are, what they feel, what sex they are, what everything in every given second. So that's a discomfort that I talk about, lack of self-identification. And it has nothing to do with the outcome result is.
Right.
So it has to do with the turmoil not being searched. And then secondly, that we want the rest of the world to change to make us comfortable. When in truth, what we're doing is we're searching for validation that what we think we chose, is right.
Yeah.
Because if we were that confident that what we chose was right for us, truly, I can promise you this, you wouldn't give a shit what anybody else thought about it, period. You wouldn't care because you'd be content. And I started to learn that, I should say, because there's still aspects of my life I'm working on that with. But I started to learn that when I had the 3-hour debate with my uncle because of my spiritual beliefs, because I communicate with the dead, because of all those things. And he happens to be a minister and he doesn't like it. And for 3 hours, he browbeat me and told me I was talking to Satan and, oh my gosh, the whole thing. And I would respond with questions. That's how I tend to converse. I just
Hmm.
ask questions and go,
Yeah,
but
let's
wait a
find
minute,
out.
but
Yeah.
what about this? And it, to me, it's a conversation, but he was getting quite heated. And I remember after 3 hours, literally, of it, he said, have I changed your mind? I said, absolutely. You absolutely changed my mind. And he goes, I did? And I said, yeah. I said, you made me see my faith is so much stronger than I thought. So much stronger
So
than I
much.
thought. You made me reinforce myself and what I thought. Because at no point in his browbeating
Hmm.
did I feel fear. At no point did I feel guilt or shame. I was confident enough in my own faith and my own belief in how I saw it that I didn't need his approval of that. I had my approval of that. And when he became very flustered, I said, here's my struggle with hearing you. And this is what kind of goes back to your
Hmm.
meeting. You're screaming at me, belittling me, and berating me to convince me that you are correct. And all it's shown me is that you don't believe that you are correct. You're not sure that you are correct. And so it's kind of like I've said on the air before, it's kind of like the bully on the playground. The more people I can get me to back me up must mean that my behavior is good,
Yeah.
must mean that I'm right. And you fearing me and beating me down and shattering me in order to get me convinced that you are right and I am wrong made me not hear you. But it also made me not see you anymore as I saw you. I see you now as afraid of your own faith. And at no point, because I followed how I felt about what he said, I listened to what he said
Yeah.
for a while. At no point did I feel fear or shame or remorse. I understood that I had become confident in what I believed. And at that point, I don't know that anybody in the room at that time actually saw things the way I saw them. But what I knew in that moment is that I knew how I saw them for sure because I didn't care that nobody else in the room saw them my way either.
So, but you just said a few minutes ago, your reactions are what you've learned before you were 9, and so I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and we lived on a 100-acre farm when I was young, so we had a big front yard, and of course with 4 boys you play football, baseball, basketball.
Right.
You're hanging out, especially when you're on a farm. Your brothers are your best
Well, you
friends.
were back then. Now you're sitting behind the
Yeah,
console.
yeah, and so and so interestingly enough, as the little guy, I was always like, yeah, I'll take on all 3 of you. Let's go in baseball, right? And of course, my brother's like, no, no, we'll play 2-on-2, right? No, no, I'll beat y'all. And so we would play baseball. And of course, being the littlest, they'd hit it across the road. I could never get them out, right? And so I would get upset, and everywhere I hit the ball, it would go right to one of them, right? So I would get
Might as
upset.
well have tossed it to him, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I would get upset, not quit, but I would just get just infuriated because why isn't this working? I'm better than this, right? So when you said that, the interesting thing that triggered, I guess, is so I'm sitting in this boardroom with these people, and I'm getting upset because I'm like, I'm better than this. What they weren't necessarily attacking me, but I was like, interesting. So you say that, I was like, interesting.
And it is. It's our comparisons. It's our
Mm-hmm.
relationships. It's all of our. And sadly, I feel sorry for our younger generation right now. Because and like we talked before, when did approval get redefined as acceptance?
Right.
So you made the good YouTube video this week, or you did the great Facebook post, and all of a sudden you're a valuable person if you have enough likes or clicks.
Or invaluable because you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And you know what? The next one might not be. So now you've built yourself up that this is what I've determined, 1,000 likes or 10,000 or hundreds,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. I've determined that that feels good. So now if I don't have that, it's a plummet.
Yeah.
So you're still basing and reaching on what out there can make me feel worthwhile. When the true thing, and this is what people don't like to hear, is the reason you're searching for that is something inside of you doesn't feel worthwhile.
Yeah.
Let's
Interesting.
look at that.
Right.
Let's look at that. Because here's the thing. I don't care what your religion is, what your faith is. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I genuinely, I I'll tell you a funny story after this, but every single, I'm going to cry now. Every single person on this planet, regardless of how much you have fucked up, serves a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You have a purpose, you have a calling. It's not always going to be the big celebrity thumbs up.
Right.
You may be the supporting role in somebody's life, in somebody's well-being, in somebody's moment. You may be the supporting role in this lifetime, but everybody serves a purpose, and the purpose is not outside of you.
Of course, you're listening to 216 The Net. This is Lisa's Changing Perceptions. Just something we forgot to talk about at the top of the hour. Go to www.216thenet.com. You have put together three programs. You can buy them individually or as a bundle. Tell us about that.
There's three. We decided, we kind of changed our tone with them a little bit. We decided to put the three out first, and then we're going to be doing some more, and hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks have three more out. But one of them is mind, body, spirit connection. And that doesn't mean religious spirit. It means to do with the core of you. And it's reacquainting yourself with you again, drawing your energy back again. And then another one is meeting your spirit guide. If somebody wants to step out into the woo-woo a little bit, reconnect to something else. And the other one was clearing your chakras and clearing your energy. And what that means is that we carry residuals of situations and energies around us every day. And anybody that comes into our presence, or even when we walk into an area, we're collecting all that energy. And it's just really taking a moment to kind of clear that away and pull yourself back to where you can decipher what are your feelings, what is yours to carry, what is somebody else's. We all carry a lot of energy for others. They're all 15 to 20 minutes ish. So it's something that everybody has time for, to do, and they're just quiet time. And they're guided. There's a nice music behind them. Kent fell asleep while we recorded one, or
I
did
didn't
something.
fall asleep.
He
I got
zoned
into
out
it
while we were recording one of them. But it's just meant to take that time to go, you know what, I'm going to take a few minutes now to be quiet, reconnect. And those are the three topics that we did for this time. And we're going to do three more that'll be out in 2 to 3 weeks. And I was going to talk about what they're going to be, but I'm not going to. You need to go to the website and find out what they are, or wait until they come out. But there's going to be more topics that we're going to go into. Some of them are going to get into detailed healing stuff, that might be a little bit nitty gritty for some people. Some of them are going to be a little more easy, peaceful, just kind of going, getting your mojo changed, getting your view of it changed. And you get to choose. That's why we did them this way. It's not some big program you have to buy. You can individually pick out what's best for you in this moment. And when you've used that one, or you enjoy that one, go get a different one. It's kind of like picking the music or picking a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is my mood for this. I'm going to do this today. And you know what? I think I want to do this tomorrow, So choose it as you go. And I'm very excited about them. I had been asking Spirit to bring into my life a way to make what I do and what I offer affordable. And these things, they're not everything I do in the office. Some things I have to do on a one-on-one basis. But these are some of the techniques that I use in the office to just kind of help people pull themselves back to Zen. Balance, even if it's only for that 15 or 20 minutes. And here's I'm going to tell everybody right now, anybody who says I don't have 15 or 20 minutes to do this, that's a choice. Then you have 15 or 20 minutes to be chaotic and uncomfortable and unbalanced. You have 15 or 20 minutes to be the victim and to be angry and to be miserable and say it's everybody else's fault. We have 15 to 20 minutes.
We sure do.
Do not listen to them while driving. Kent proved while we were recording them as he zoned out. But yeah, so we've got those out there, and we're going to have some more. And I don't know what order we're going to put them out then, but we're going to be doing some ones on self-pain management. We're going to be doing past life regression one. That's always fun for people. We're going to be doing some life chart ones, some timeline therapy ones. There's a lot of Are Good Enough, Inner Child. We're going to be putting out a lot of them. So the first three that we put out, we decided to go with just some balance. Just some balance and some reconnection. So I recommend that everybody, give them a try. I think we priced them at a point that was my goal was, how can I reach people who can't afford to come into the office, Or in truth, people who say, you know what, I don't want to go in and air my dirty laundry to somebody else. Maybe there is a lot of shame and guilt. Maybe, maybe for whatever reason, I'm not comfortable airing.
Right.
That's fine. Air it to yourself.
Yeah.
Air it to yourself. This is just about balancing and discovering what that is. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. I tell people all the time because there's some techniques tools that we use in the office, and you can do this when you're not in the office too. Nothing I do in the office is magic.
Yeah.
You can do this when I'm in the office, and here's the best part about it: nobody else needs to know that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about you, the peace, finding you again.
Oh yeah.
Because again, as we get in this world, if we base our value and we base our success on what somebody else deems that to be, you'll never find it. I just said something to somebody the other day, and they were frustrated with me. And I said, here's the truth. I can be a bitchy pain in the ass. Absolutely. I am headstrong and outspoken. I am opinionated. I am stubborn. I am
No.
all kinds of things. If you want to search for my flaws, there are many. And I am also all kinds of very wonderful things. And I am caring and I am compassionate and I am forgiving and I am smart and I go digging for the answers and I care. You choose what you search for.
Mm-hmm.
Choose what you search for. That's true in life. It's true in life. If you want to go find everything wrong with the world and in life, especially right now, there's a slew.
Ooh, yeah, you don't got to
You
reach
can be
very far.
aware of it. You can be aware of it. But what you choose to search for is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you that you have both of those within you too. What you choose to search for is your choice. And we give up so many things out of fear. I will repeat this a million times over. Fear is the number one controlling emotion in the world, in the universe, in
Period.
the everything.
Period.
Fear is the number one controlling. And why do we have fear? Because we believe someone else has power over us to change it. Now, if someone has a knife in front of you and you have fear that they're going to hurt you with it, that's a genuine fear. That's where God or spirit or whatever gave you fight or flight mechanism.
Right.
What am I going to do right now? And even in that situation, you have two choices. I'm going to stand here and let them do it, or I'm going to fight. Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you fight and you lose, you made the choice to stand up for you. You made the choice to fight. Sometimes fighting isn't the right choice. Sometimes walking away is. Many times we hinder our life and we hinder the experiences we could have in our life out of fear. Fear of being intimate is a huge one. And when I say intimate, people assume I mean sex, and I absolutely do not mean that.
Right.
I mean intimacy, meaning allowing someone else to become a part of you, to care enough that you actually feel and share an energy with a person, that they mean as much to you as you mean to them, the balance. And I talk to people about this a lot that talk about whether it be long-term marriages, dating, or whatever. And they'll say, oh my God, they don't do XYZ. What did they say when you asked them to? What was their response? Well, I didn't ask them. They should know. Oh, wow. Okay. How should they know? Well, they just should. Okay. Let's pretend that they should. Let's pretend that they should just know. Do they love you? Well, yeah. So they love you, but if you presented a need to them, they would deny it. And that's love to you?
Mm-hmm.
So do you need to redefine love or or communication? What is it here? Because there are all these choices and everybody's waiting for the moment that they are safe enough to risk it before they actually move forward with it.
Yep.
If you are horrified to share parts of truth of yourself because you're going to get hurt, you have the choice to protect yourself from that. But you also are making the choice to not experience it either. Nothing's right or wrong.
A great people should listen to Rush, the song "Free Will," right? Because in the,
I don't even know it.
yeah, check it out. I mean, it's awesome. The chorus says you can choose a ready guide in some celestial voice. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Absolutely. You've still made you
Yeah.
absolutely. And oftentimes we spend our whole life regretting something that we've done
Mm-hmm.
because looking back in hindsight, you could have done it better.
Yep.
Do you know why hindsight's 2020? Because you've grown, you've learned, and you've experienced since then.
Well, you're also looking through a different lens.
Because you've grown and
Right.
you've experienced and you've learned something,
Yeah.
which changed your view. So now looking back on it, you could have done it differently. But could you have? In that moment, could you have?
Right.
And here's the thing, here's the reality. Even if you look back and go, yeah, I could have, I was just an asshole. Cool. Perfect. Discovery.
Yep.
Growth. Now, do you choose to still be an asshole or no? Because that's your only option right now.
Right.
If you've discovered what it is, you've realized what it is, you have two choices. Live in that aspect of you or change that aspect of you. Why don't we like change? Because we're not sure what's going to work
Yeah.
and we might fail. I've said it a million times, failure is a blessing, failure is an opportunity. Failure is one of two things. Your reason to quit, and that's what we were talking about. Quitting
Yep.
sometimes isn't good from our eyes.
Right.
Is it good for you? If you quit and it eats you up inside, reflect on what you quit and why.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's all you can do.
Done.
That's it. That's all you got. If you quit, but you're content with that quitting, I'm telling you something. That feeling, that emotion is telling you something.
Yeah.
If you feel incomplete, if you feel like you're missing something, you will never find it until you identify what it is.
Mm. Mm.
Greyhound chasing the rabbit.
Right.
And it's funny because I don't know if people know this. Steve Harvey's a motivational speaker. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
And I don't agree with everything he says in truth, but I do like him because he's funny and I like his presentation of it. But I was watching him the other day because yes, I do listen to people. You know, I go out
Yeah.
and search for my thing too. And it was funny. He gave a challenge, and I thought I'm gonna do that. Sounds like bullshit. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna prove him wrong. You know, I got my attitude, my arrogance, my ego popped out and said hello. And he said, write down 300 things that you want from God. He's very religious, so
Yes,
he
yes.
refers to it that way. So he said, write down 300 things that you want from God. He said, anything. I don't care what it is. Be greedy. Write down 300 things that you want from God. As though every single thing was going to be answered. Write down 300 things that you want from God. You want 10 cars? Write down 10 cars you want. Write down every single thing you want from God, no matter what. And he said at about 75, you're going to start to struggle. And I thought, bullshit, I can come up with 300 things.
Piece of cake.
I didn't even make it 75. I called my girlfriend Julie, who's been on there with me before. She's going to be on in a couple weeks, by the way. And I said, I got to 67. I'm like, shit, what do I put down here? What do I write down here? And it was funny because it was such a learning thing to go. We sit here and we search and we search and we search and we say, if only. And somebody just handed me an opportunity to put down my if onlys.
67.
Yeah, I have 300. I mean, don't worry, I'll come up with some more. I'm going to make that 300. But that's the stubborn girl in me going, he's not going to tell me I can't.
Right.
Might take me 6 years, but I'm doing it. I'm coming up with them. But it was a really cool thing to look at and go, wow, look at that. And then when you reread it, to realize how much of it ended up rolling into self-fulfillment, feelings, emotions, aspirations. Versus, I mean, don't worry, I started out with my house and my cars.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I started out with my list. I got my list rolling. And then it rolled into realizing, but all of those don't mean anything without all of these.
Right.
And then, of course, me, because I have to overthink. In case any of you didn't discover, I am an overthinker. I had to start to go, you know what? And if I had that house and those cars, but I didn't have these self fulfilling things, what would they mean?
Right.
They would mean nothing. And then I got even farther into it and went, but all of these things, the things, not that I don't want them, don't mistake me. I want them, okay? But those can all be taken away in an instant.
In a second.
And all these things, these self fulfilling, nurturing things, no one can take from me.
Mhm.
I can give them away. And here's the argument people have with that. Well, but if you offer that to somebody and then eventually it goes away, they took it from you. No, they didn't.
Mhm.
They didn't take away the emotion, the experience. They didn't take away the feelings, the moments. That chapter may have closed, and you may be sad and hurt that you miss it. But they didn't take away the moments, because if the moments were that valuable, you still own them.
Right.
You own the experience, you own the feeling. And oftentimes people deny themselves those things because they fear it can be taken away. It can never be taken away. The same as your character, the same as your integrity, can never be taken away. And we don't value those things the
Mm.
same because of what? What will it look like to these people out here if I don't have this?
Right. What's my approval?
Right. Well, am I going to be not successful in helping people or motivating people if I'm not,
Oh my gosh.
if I
Watch out.
break
Oh,
the mic,
holy cow.
if I'm not Steve Harvey or Tony Robbins?
Yeah. For all of the people out there listening on the radio, she's moving her hands and she is getting into this. Just
I'm a hand talker.
knocked over
Yeah.
the microphone
I almost knocked over the coffee onto the microphone before the show.
earlier.
But so these are the things that can be taken away. Um, but they can't take the experience away from us. And here's the thing. In order for it to hurt, it had to feel so amazing in the first place.
Right.
Period. Do you want to give up the amazing out of fear it might hurt?
Yeah.
That's sad. And then we wonder why we're unfulfilled. I know parents, multiples that I've gotten a lot of calls lately from parents for teens lately. I don't know what Spirit's trying to show me. I guess I'm going to go back to the teen thing, but um, and parents are, but I have to do this because I have to do this for my child.
Mm.
Why? You're filled with fear and desperation. That's what you're offering to your child. Understand, relate to them, feel that you're feeling their fear and desperation. Sit down with them and go, I feel it too. What's bothering you? What are you feeling? Let me be honest with what you're feeling back. And why don't parents do that? I will tell you. You know why? They don't want to hear what they did wrong.
Oh, we do it all the time in our house.
We kind of did it in ours too.
Yeah.
I actually, funny enough, am defensive about it, but I've learned not to be. But in the beginning, I was really defensive about it. And I realized that part of that defensiveness came from when my husband died, and my kids were 13 and 17. When my husband was alive, I was always the disciplinary parent, and he was always the friend.
Mhm.
So when he died, and I realized that I was going to have to take this role on my own, and in my eyes at that time was, oh my God, if you screw up these kids, you got no one to blame. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
my blame factor
Your
just went
co-pilot
away.
is-
Yeah. And I finally kind of had to come to peace with it. It took a long time. That's the thing people don't realize is it doesn't, you get the epiphany in the instant, but it's a buildup to get you there. And I finally went, you know what? I'm going to be the same mom I was before that. So if I screw them up this time, then I was screwing them up before. Not that I intentionally want to screw up my kids, but the truth is I did the best I could in every single moment. Um, and sometimes I made mistakes, and and we're all going to have those issues.
Yeah.
And as far as parents and children, here's a thing, and you and I talked about doing a show about this. There's not enough time left in this show to do it. Maybe we should one day. Is that I'm going to tell you all something that I truly believe, and it's going to piss the majority of people off. Your children do not come first. They do not.
Can't.
No.
Yeah.
Because when you put your children first, you end up offering them a depleted, angry, depressed, unfulfilled parent that gives them no example of how to search for life.
Well, not just children, but your spouse either.
Granted,
Right.
but the concept in society
Right.
right
Correct.
now is
Oh,
that your
yes. Yes.
children come first. Yes. And that's bullshit. I don't know what else
Yep.
I can say. Um, and if you feel guilty that you didn't parent the way you wish you could, look at yourself and ask you, could I have
Could
done
I have?
differently?
Mhm.
Because the odds are you probably couldn't have it at whatever in the moment was. And there's no other reason for it than that. Whatever in the moment was. But what you can do the moment that you realize it is learn, grow, change. And do you know what you offer your children in doing that? The opportunity of the person that they trust or someone that they trust to go to say, I don't like how I'm feeling either. How did you learn, grow, and change?
Mhm.
I see the changes that you've made. I see that you're happy now. I don't remember you being happy before. What did you do? Because I'm unhappy and I'd like to be happy now. I'm going to cry. I'd like to be happy now too.
Yeah.
Your children do not come first, you do. And our society has taught us, trained us,
Mm.
conditioned us, and programmed us that that's selfish. I don't agree. It is selfish if you're going to take from others in order to fulfill your own needs.
Mhm.
That's selfish.
Mhm.
It is selfish if you have the ability or the opportunity to do something that your gut tells you you should do
Yeah.
and you say no because it's all about me. That is selfish.
Right.
To say my happiness, my fulfillment, and my search and my path and my journey and my purpose here is my number one priority is not selfish. And what you're offering to your spouse or your children or the people you come in contact with is an example of how to do that, how to fail, how to succeed, how to change, how to forgive themselves. That is the greatest gift you can offer your children to be the example of.
That's right.
Children will do as we do, not as we say.
That's correct.
Always. Always. And I'll cry about this one too. My daughter actually taught me that whole philosophy. My oldest daughter is so far different from me, it's not even funny. She's very conservative. She's incredibly freaking intelligent. She's inside the box. She's very straight laced. She just and that's cool. I mean, it's fine. She's a wonderful, intelligent person who makes a difference in the world working with autism. I mean, she's a fabulous human being. She's very different than me. And I'm gonna cry again. And I always thought she judged me. Oh, your mom screwed up because here she was her and my husband were the best of friends. So she got stuck with the shitty parent. You know what I mean? And I was having a hard time at one point. It was a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And she had come to visit. And she's been away at school forever. Um, and she had come to visit. And I said, I'm sorry that you're visiting and I'm like this. I'm so sad. She said, I can see that, Mom. And if you think you're hiding that from anybody, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Even when you think you're hiding it, you're wrong. We can all see it. And I said, I don't know what to do about it. And she said, well, you're going to do what you do. I said, what do you mean? She goes, you're going to pick yourself up and go find the way. I said, I don't know how to do that. She said, you do too, because that's what you do because you're my mom.
There you go.
She does not agree with 90% of the decisions I make in life, 90% of my views in life.
Right.
But she accepts me because she sees the character, the things that she needed to see in that. She chose to do differently with them. But what I learned in what she said was she learned that she had the ability to do that by living within it. And I was far from a perfect parent, so that is not what I mean to say in any way, shape, or form. But my point is that we go chasing the perfect parent, the perfect thing, the perfect this, the perfect that, and there is no freaking perfect. Who are you basing perfect on? The only person you are going to be perfect for is you, and that includes failures and mistakes. That
Mhm.
includes your failures and your mistakes.
That's why I say there's only one man in history ever better than me, and they hung him to a cross.
There you go.
There you go.
If that's your faith and your belief
Yeah,
system, absolutely.
that's it.
And I talk to people who don't have those faiths and belief systems, and I don't criticize that. Their experience hasn't
Mhm.
brought them that opportunity. And then they say, but the whole world sucks. That's fine. Do you suck? Well, I don't suck. I wouldn't do all those things. Oh, then believe in you. That's it.
That's it.
If you got nothing else to believe in you.
Believe in you.
And if you're going to say, I can't believe in me because of this, that, and the other thing, that's fine. Then you're giving this, that, and the other thing the power.
Right.
You still made the choice. If you can't believe in anything else, believe in you. What's so scary? If you look inside at yourself and you self reflect, what's so scary? You don't have to do it. You don't have to tell me about it. You don't have to tell a therapist about it. You don't have to tell me about it. If you actually take the time to look inside and self reflect, what is the scariest thing that'll happen? You'll see you. So if you see judgment in that, perfect. Reflect on the judgment. What do I judge and what don't I like? Because you know what? That's a part of me and I can change it.
Yep.
What's so scary? We don't know how to quiet our minds. We don't know how to turn off the world. We don't know how to shut it down. So we can't ever see it.
We're so afraid to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole reason is truly, if we really take the time to break it down, the reason is because we don't shut it down, because we can't self reflect, because we are so filled with judgment. Even when we look at our judgments, we're judging it based on what somebody else deemed right or wrong.
Yeah.
What somebody else deemed success or failure. Because we can't do that, we stay in the spin cycle.
Yep.
All the time searching for the thing that will fill the void, using up other people, sucking the energy out of other people to fill a void that can't be filled by anything else besides you.
Right.
Other people's energy is a temporary fill. It's like your gas tank. You can go fill up your gas tank, but as soon as you drive for a while, you're out of gas again. You got to refill it.
Mm-hmm.
Using other people's energy is a temporary fix, it's a temporary fill. And you can use that to guide you, to determine feelings, to make decisions. But the truth is what you're searching for is in there. And you can bury it beneath a bunch of bullshit for as long as you want to. It's still going to be there. Take the time to just really quiet yourself and shut off the world. Because the world is going to change tomorrow. We're learning that now too, right?
Hey.
The world is going to change every given second.
That's right.
And you can change. You may change. But that's your choice. And the only thing, as everybody says, I'm going to save for my children, to give to my children, to leave for my children, things. Leave for your children a memory, an experience, a moment, a belief, and an example. Nobody can ever take it away.
Yeah.
You can leave your children a home and $1 million and all that, and they can piss it away and it can be gone. Or you can leave them an experience, a moment, an example. Yeah. These things that we're learning to value in the world are the things that are destroying the world.
Well, that's what Bill and Melinda Gates, they didn't give their kids anything. They're like, you got to go earn it. We had to go earn it.
Right.
Yeah,
actually, Steve Harvey said that too. He told his kids, he said, all this money, all this stuff that you see, just for the record, I'm spending 85% of it on me and your mom before I'm dead.
That's right. That's right.
Shaq did the same thing. I was watching Shaq talk.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. He told his kid, I mean, it's a little bit different than most of us, but his kid came home and he had gotten all A's and he said, go across the street, pick out a car. No, I went out, whatever he wanted. It was some super expensive. And he said, no, there's a Dodge dealer across the street. You didn't earn the other thing yet because you don't have a job. I'm just rewarding you for what you did. They go, Dad, you got the money. I earned the money.
Right.
I'm offering you a blessing. Take the blessing or move on.
Move on.
Right. And he's giving them an example of not only, yes, I can be generous. He's actually a very generous man.
Oh, yeah.
But also of, I earned it and I don't have any guilt over that.
Yep.
So, all right, we're done with the hour.
Yeah.
Bless everybody. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Hope it all made sense. just a very frustrating thing this week that I was finding. I decided, okay, well, go take the risk.
That's it. Of course, this is 216net, and this has been Lisa's Changing Perceptions. Please visit 216net.com and purchase the bundle or purchase any one of the 3 programs that Lisa has out there. Quick 15 to 20-minute sessions on just how to kind of rebalance, come back, recharge. Absolutely will not regret it.
Tools you could use for the
Wendy,
rest of your
good
life.
morning. Absolutely love you, Wendy Munson. Hopefully all is well. So, for all of us here at 216 the Net, stick around. We've got Fellowship of Faith's worship hour right on our heels.